Welcome to FAFSA and financial aid information. In this presentation, we'll cover the basics of financial aid and how to apply. Financial aid is money to help pay for your post-high school plans. It can be used for 4-year, 2-year, and technical colleges along with some certificate or apprenticeship programs. Financial aid comes in 4 main categories: grants, scholarships, loans, and work study. Grants are income-based and come from federal, state, and college funds. This is money which you do not have to pay back if you meet the satisfactory academic progress requirements. Scholarships are merit-based and income-based, and they come from public, private, not-for-profit sources. Scholarships also do not need to be paid back. Work study is an income-based federal and state aid which allows students the opportunity to work on and off campus and earn money. Loans are income-based federal and private funding. You do need to pay these back and with interest. There are different kinds of loans available based on your financial qualifications. The sources of financial aid are federal, state, the program or college you will be attending, or organizations. Federal financial aid is from the U.S. Department of Education and can be used at most colleges. State financial aid is for residents to attend programs in their own state. They do not necessarily have to be public colleges, but they do have to be eligible to receive state financial aid. There are currently over 60 of these institutions, so check in with the admissions office or your college and career counselor for more information. College or program financial aid is offered by a specific college or program. Every college will have their own scholarships that they offer to students who have been admitted to their school. These can be found on the college's financial aid page. Organizations that offer financial aid tend to be scholarships or private loans. Take the time to view as many scholarships as possible and reduce the amount of loan you will need to repay. Most scholarships do not charge a fee to apply. If you are being charged, please do the research to make sure that the scholarship is legitimate. A list of scholarships that have been vetted is on the washboard.org site. Federal student aid can be used to pay for your expenses: room and board, tuition and fees, books and supplies. The Pell Grant is an income-based grant. The amount you receive is based on your expected family contribution. Federal Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant is a grant for undergraduate students with exceptional financial need. There are a limited number of funds on this grant, so do apply early. Federal Work Study provides part-time jobs for undergraduate and graduate students with financial need, allowing them to earn money to help pay education expenses. The program encourages community service work and work related to the student's course of study. Work study jobs can be on or off campus. If you apply for financial aid, you may be offered student loans as part of your school's financial aid offer. A loan is money you borrow and must pay back with interest. If you decide to take out a loan, make sure you understand who is making the loan and the terms and conditions of the loan. Student loans can come from the federal government, from private sources such as a bank or financial institutions, or from other organizations. Loans made by the federal government, called federal student loans, usually have more benefits than loans from banks or other private sources. Parent loans are taken out by the parent to pay for the student's expenses. These require credit checks and income requirements and may not be available to all parents. Repayment begins right away. Washington Opportunity Pathways are financial aid programs open to Washington residents to be used at eligible colleges in Washington state. Washington College Grant is the largest income-based grant. The maximum Washington College Grant award amount will cover full tuition at any approved eligible in-state public college or university, including community or technical colleges. At an approved private college or career training program, the Washington College Grant provides a comparable amount toward tuition and other education-related expenses. College-bound scholarship is an early commitment of state financial aid to cover certain costs. Students must have signed up in middle school and remain eligible throughout high school. State work study is similar to the federal work program, but the funding comes from Washington State versus the federal government. Passport to Careers is a program that provides additional resources for both foster youth and unaccompanied homeless youth. The Opportunity Grant is awarded to students who wish to attend a 2-year community or technical college. Eligible students pursuing an approved program may receive funds to cover tuition and mandatory fees up to 45 credits and up to $1,000 for required books and supplies per academic year. The first step in getting money for post-high school education is to apply for financial aid using either the FAFSA or the WASFA. The FAFSA and the WASFA open on October 1st. Most funds are first come, first served, so the sooner you apply, the better chance you have of acquiring financial aid. The FAFSA, or Free Application for Federal Student Aid, is a form completed by current and prospective college students in the United States. The application determines your eligibility for financial aid. Choose the FAFSA if you are a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. This will also be used to determine your state financial aid eligibility. Even if you think you won't qualify for need-based financial aid, many schools require the FAFSA to offer you merit scholarship. FAFSA has a website option or a phone app for applying. If you and your family are unable to complete the FAFSA for residency or other issues, you can complete the WASFA. The Washington Application for State Financial Aid offers financial aid programs to students who cannot file or do not wish to file a federal FAFSA financial aid application for various reasons, like immigration status, defaulted federal loans, or U.S. citizens with undocumented family members. If you are unsure which application to use, you can go to Washington Student Council and take the WASFA questionnaire, which will tell you which application you should be using. To get started with FAFSA, go to FAFSA.gov and click on the Create an FSA ID link. The FSA ID allows students and parents to identify themselves electronically to access federal student aid websites. The student and parent will each create their own FSA ID. If a student is completing the FAFSA, but their parents are undocumented or don't have a social security number, they should put all zeros for the parent's social security number. They will need to print out and sign the signature page and mail to the Department of Education instead of signing online. You'll need to complete the FAFSA. You will enter your name, date of birth, social security number, contact information, challenge questions, and answers. You will use your parents' 2020 tax records, savings, and untaxed income. In your application, designate to which schools you want FAFSA to send your student aid information. You can request up to 10 schools, and after you receive your student aid report, you can request more. Review your information before submitting and accept the terms and conditions. You can use your FSA ID immediately to sign and file the FAFSA. The FSA ID serves as a legal signature and should not be shared with anyone, including family, school personnel, loan servicers, or contact center agents. Use one email address per person. An email address cannot be used with more than one FSA ID. Students, do not use your current high school email. Create a professional email address that you will use for admissions and financial aid. Let's review some financial aid terms you'll need to know. Your student aid report is a paper or electronic document that gives you some basic information about your eligibility for federal student aid, as well as listing your answers to the FAFSA questions. Your eligibility depends on your expected family contribution, your year in school, your enrollment status, and the cost of attendance at the school you'll be attending. The cost of attendance, or COA, is the amount it will cost you to go to school for the entire year. It considers tuition, fees, room and board, books, supplies, and transportation. The expected family contribution, or EFC, is a measure of your family's financial strength and is calculated according to a formula established by law. Your EFC will display in the upper right-hand corner of your student aid report. If your application is incomplete, your student aid report will not include an EFC, but it will tell you what you need to do to resolve any issues. Your EFC is not the amount of money your family will have to pay for college, nor is it the amount of federal aid you will receive. It is a number used by the college to calculate how much financial aid you are eligible to receive. The financial aid office at your college or career school will determine how much financial aid you are eligible to receive and send you an award or financial aid offer. The financial aid staff starts by deciding upon your cost of attendance at that school. Then they consider your expected family contribution. They subtract your EFC from your COA to determine the amount of your financial need and therefore how much need-based aid you can get. To determine how much non-need-based aid you can get, the school takes your cost of attendance and subtracts any financial aid you've already been awarded. You'll want to double check with the schools you listed on your FAFSA form to follow up with their financial aid office. Sometimes schools need additional paperwork or have other internal deadlines. By not following up, you could be missing out on financial aid. It's important to make sure all of your FAFSA data is correct and complete. Most information can't be updated because it must reflect your current situation as of the day you originally signed your application. But there are certain items that must be updated if they change. And if your family situation has changed in a major way since then, you can request a professional judgment review from your school. Contact the financial aid office at the school you plan to attend if your family has any other special circumstances that affect your financial situation. If applying for financial aid feels overwhelming, get some help. There are virtual financial aid filing events which you can attend, and the FAFSA.gov website is extremely helpful. If you have specific questions, reach out to your college and career counselors and attend our Glacier Peak FAFSA-WAFSA workshop October 12th. Thank you.
We get a lot of questions about scholarships. Everyone wants a scholarship, but much like a strong college application, scholarships take time and work. If you have applied to college, you will have most of the information you need to apply for scholarships. Identifying which scholarships to apply for can be the most overwhelming part of the scholarship process. We will be discussing different types of scholarships and offer tips on applying and finding scholarships. We will discuss where to look and provide resources and suggestions for saving money. To start off, I would like to offer a few tips. Stay organized. Use a spreadsheet or notebook. College Express has a scholarship template that you can use. I find it really helpful, and I have it linked in this presentation, which will be available later. But some students prefer a physical notebook and they sort it by month or whatever preferences they prefer. Basically, use what works for you, know your due dates, and know what materials each application requires. When searching for scholarships, don't ignore small awards. They add up and they're often more obtainable than the larger awards. Know the scholarship audience and the total number of awards offered. National scholarships that award 5 students will be more competitive than a local scholarship that awards 5 students. Never pay to be considered for a scholarship. Applying to scholarships should be always free. If you find a scholarship that charges a fee, definitely look into it because you want to make sure that it is legitimate. As you complete college applications and scholarship applications, remember to save everything. You can often repurpose an essay to apply to several scholarships. If you ask for a letter of recommendation for a college application, your letter writer most likely saved that letter and can share a copy for you to use for scholarships. You will find that many scholarship applications are the same, and good organization can make applying to multiple scholarships easier than you would think. Right now, I would focus on college applications and knowing the scholarships that are available from the schools to which you are applying. Scholarship information is usually found on the undergrad admissions page. You will typically find a page labeled Cost, Financial Aid, or Scholarships. Many students that receive a scholarship from the college they are attended are automatically considered for the scholarships. So this means there's not a separate scholarship application, but students will be automatically awarded based on their GPA or overall admissions application. There can be separate scholarship applications or separate application deadlines for colleges, so we do encourage you to research scholarships while you are preparing to apply to colleges. If you are applying to an out-of-state school, consider looking into WUI scholarships or non-resident scholarships. WUI stands for Western Undergraduate Exchange and is available at several colleges in the Western United States. As a Washington resident, you benefit from a reciprocal agreement reducing tuition to about 150% of the in-state rate at out-of-state schools. Each college has different WUI GPA requirements, areas of study they allow, and deadline requirements. So again, we encourage you to visit each college website for the most up-to-date information. Non-WUI schools may also offer scholarships for non-residents, and private schools do not have residency requirements, so it is really important to do your research. Some colleges provide need-based scholarships to fill the gap between students' financial aid and the cost to attend school. Typically, need is shown through filing the FAFSA or WASPA. We definitely recommend all students file the FAFSA, even if they don't think they will qualify for grants, because some schools require the FAFSA for merit scholarships. Merit scholarships are scholarships that you earn through your academics, athletics, or other achievements. Once you are accepted at a college and confirm your enrollment, you may find that there are additional scholarships available for you to apply for through the College Scholarship Portal. The majority of our students receive scholarships from the college they are attending or through the local scholarship program. The Snohomish Education Foundation manages more than 100 scholarships that are available to Snohomish School District students. Of those scholarships, Glacier Peak students may apply to more than 60 of them. This is a great opportunity for our students because the scholarships are just for GP students or the Snohomish School District as a whole. I would encourage all of you to apply for at least one of these scholarships. You can apply to multiple scholarships, and we hope you do so. The process to apply is fairly easy, and you can start now by creating an account at thewashboard.org and working on your profile. Your profile will become your application, so you can use your one profile to apply to multiple scholarships. When the LSP opens in December, you will be able to sort scholarship by provider, and you will want to look for the Snohomish Education Foundation. There will be pages of them because there are over 60. The College and Career Center website will have a list of the scholarships and a short summary of each scholarship to help you read through the requirements. Most seniors are eligible to apply for the SEF 500 scholarship. This is a $500 scholarship sponsored by the Snohomish Education Foundation with very little requirements outside of writing a short essay and completing an application. There are also specific scholarships and a variety of scholarship sponsors. There are scholarships for apprenticeships and technical schools. There are scholarships sponsored by the GP Parent Org, scholarships from elementary schools you attended. There are memorial scholarships from families within our community. There are scholarships from different businesses and organizations. It is pretty amazing to see how much support the greater Snohomish community offers our Glacier Peak students. We encourage all students to apply, and again, you can start today by creating a profile on thewashboard.org. You will not be awarded a scholarship if you do not apply for one. In addition to the local scholarship program being available on the washboard, you will find other scholarships as well. The washboard is provided by the Washington Scholarship Coalition and offers scholarships specifically to Washington residents. However, some of these scholarships can be used out of state, so don't ignore this resource thinking it doesn't apply to you if you have out of state aspirations. Scholarships are added year-round on the washboard, but we often say that scholarship season starts in December and goes through the spring. The washboard will match you to scholarships based on your profile, or you can search through the pages of scholarship on your own. Once you match to scholarships, you need to apply to those scholarships. Creating an account and profile is just the first step. Some scholarships will require essays, letters of recommendation. So again, this is where staying organized and knowing dates and the materials required will be helpful for you. Also, do check the bulletin and your school email for workshop announcements. We will be doing some workshops on creating a washboard account and profile and applying for the local scholarship program. Once you have exhausted your local resources and state and the college that you're applying to resources, we encourage you to look nationally. Using a national search engine will be really helpful. Nationally, there are thousands of. We recommend creating an account at one, maybe two national scholarship sites. Most of the sites will require you to create an account to view the scholarships. However, gearup.wa.gov is just a list of scholarships by due date and does not require an account. Big Future will allow you to search without an account but can be more efficient with one. The rest of these will require an account, and the more information you share, the better suited your scholarship results will be. There are plenty more national search engines that you're welcome to use. These are just some to get you started. Many of the search engines will give you the same matches and results, so which one you choose will basically come down to personal preference. You may choose based on which website you like best or where you already have an existing account. Also, a lot of you are on social media. I would encourage you to use some of that time for finding scholarships. There are Instagram accounts and TikTok accounts for colleges and people that help promote scholarships. Just remember, you should not have to pay to apply. When it comes to scholarship searches, do not overlook who you know or who your parents know. There are a number of companies, unions, clubs, and organizations that offer employees and their dependents scholarship opportunities. We often have scholarships sent to us, and we post these on the College and Career website. We post them on the hallway outside the counseling office, on the bulletin board, and in the daily bulletin. Lastly, make a good choice where you are attending. Consider community college or tech schools for your first 2 years. You can save a lot of money by going to school locally. The first 2 years of a bachelor's degree are mostly spent completing core courses and prerequisites. These often can be done at the community college where tuition is about half that of a 4-year school. The College Financial Aid Office can be an invaluable resource. Not only will they have scholarship resources, they can also help with payment plans and help with any questions as it pertains to your financial aid package. And always, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to your Glacier Peak Counseling Team or College and Career Center.